Hey guys, WashBoss here. Welcome to another repair video. I thought I'd do another repair video because I haven't done one in a while, but today I'm going to show you how to change the dryer unit on a Beko washer dryer. Okay, firstly you want to be removing all of the screws that are in the top panel. Now these are T20 or Torx 20 screws, and you've got one there, one there, and a couple on the back. So essentially you just need a Torx 20 screw bit and just undo all the screws. And then that will allow you to move the top panel off of the washing machine. And then you by taking the top off, it reveals the dryer unit to the machine. So what we're going to be changing today is this great big piece, metal piece here, which is the dryer unit. Beko only sell it as one part. So we'll make a start. Right, firstly, make sure that the power to the washing machine is always off. You don't want it to end up in more of a mess than the washing machine itself. Right. First things first, guys, just a word of warning. Before changing the actual dryer unit on the machine, these two buttons here are essentially thermostats. Now what happens is when the dryer unit overheats, these pop out and it stops the machine from heating. So if your machine's not heating, I would first take the top off and try pushing these buttons. If these buttons click, then that should resolve your issue. If it doesn't, then we're going to end up having to change the dryer unit anyway, which is what I'm doing now. So firstly, if you're not familiar with, you know, remembering where wires go and stuff like that, take a photograph of where all the wires go. I'm not going to because I've done so many of these. I just pretty much automatically know where they all go. So yeah, so you want to just pull all of the wires off the thermostats, the heater, the fan, everything like that. So we'll do that now. Right, once you've removed all of the wiring from the machine, you can essentially disconnect it all together because there's this metal bar that it's all cable tied onto. You need to remove two screws. You've got the one at the front down here, and you've got another one back here. So again, Torx 20 screws, make sure to remove these and you'll be able to move the wiring out of the way. Okay, so just like that, you remove the screws and all of the wiring to the dryer unit essentially folds out the way, so you can leave it to the side of the machine so it's not in the way. Right, the next thing we're going to do is undo all the screws to the actual machine itself. So we have 4 screws on here, and these are big bolts in 4 different places, one down there and one down there. So these are Torx 40, so these are quite big bolts. You can use a ratchet and spanner if you wish, but I'm hoping that my little drill here has got enough power to be able to remove them for me. So we're going to take these out now, and this will loosen the whole dryer unit on the top of the machine. Okay guys, right, after removing these bolts, you can find that the dryer channel was all loose, but it's just connected to the door seal on the front of the washing machine. So what we've got to do next is remove the fascia panel from the washing machine. So essentially, you want to pull the dispensing unit out all the way and remove it completely, and then there'll be some screws in the drawer, which I'll show you in a minute, and we'll get this fascia panel off. Okay, right, so after removing the drawer from the washing machine, you're left with some screws to remove from the fascia panel. You've got one in here, you've got quite a deep one in here, and I think that's it. There's only 2 screws on this one, and then the whole fascia panel will just clip off the front of the washing machine, giving you access to where the dryer unit connects to the door seal. So we'll remove these screws now. Okay guys, right, after you've removed those screws, the fascia panel literally just pulls away and unclips as it presses into the metal beams in these sort of square spaces here, so you can push those tabs down if you need to. But if you give them a good enough pull, it should just come off nice and easy. If you need to remove the board altogether, there's only one connection on there, so you can pull that connection off and that can just go straight back on after. But normally you can get away with just sort of, you know, resting them to the side or something like that. As long as you're careful, you should be fine. But yeah, so what you want to do now is you can see that the dryer channel is screwed into the door seal here. So you want to take this screw out and it removes this metal band, allowing you to take the whole dryer unit off the machine itself. So we'll do this now. Okay guys, right, so you want to remove the metal band completely and you'll be able to peel the door seal off the dryer unit, and with everything disconnected, the dryer unit should, yeah, there you go. So the dryer unit literally just lifts off the machine and it comes as a whole brand new piece. So we are changing this all together. Now you can see, this is the reason why I don't recommend people buying washer dryers. You can just see the state of this one. The problem is, like tumble dryers, tumble dryers have filters to catch the fluff and everything. So the reason these washer dryers stop working so quickly is because they get absolutely bunged up full of fluff, and this Beko, look, is no exception at all. They get absolutely rammed full of fluff. it causes the machine to overheat, which essentially shuts the drying unit off. I mean, look at all this. Look, you can see all this fluff is in the dryer unit, and this is not only dangerous for the machine and the user, but it also reduces the efficiency of the machine and stops it drying. I mean, washer dryers aren't great to begin with, but when they've got all this built up in the back of them, there's no wonder why they don't work properly. Best thing to do with something like this is make sure your machine's empty and you close the door on the front of it. But if you've got like a couple of hot kettles, you can pour some boiling water down here, and it should clean all of this out and it should drain it away. But that's the best way I've found to sort of clean these machines out, unfortunately. But with washer dryers, it's just what happens with them, and there's not actually physically much you can do. I mean, look, it just keeps coming out. I mean, it's not safe, guys. So yeah, I'm going to do this now. I'm going to give all this a really good clean, and then we'll put the dryer unit back on the machine, and I'll show you how to put it all back together. Okay guys, right, I've cleaned out the dryer unit the best I can. It's not perfect, but it's far better than what it was. You can see all the stuff that's come out of it. It was an awful lot, and that's not all of it. There was more as well. So what we're going to do now is we're going to fit the new dryer unit back to the machine in reverse order. So I'll show you guys how to pop it back together. Okay guys, right, here's our new dryer unit. As you can see with the Beko ones, it comes as a completely new part. So new sensors, new heating element, new fan, new everything essentially. And essentially we're just fitting this in reverse order. So it just sits on top of the machine. You just essentially do everything in reverse. So you just line it up, you line it up with the screw holes. Put the door seal back around the front of it. So yeah, we'll make a start. Okay guys, right, so firstly, before screwing everything back down, you want to put the door seal and the metal retaining band back on. So you just stretch the seal over the dryer unit and then just wrap the metal band back around and do it back up with the T20 screw that came off. Right, the next thing to do is actually a step that we actually did before when we first started taking the machine apart. So the new one comes with a new metal sort of wire thing that's screwed in here and here. Now, we don't actually need this part. I mean, if you want to go to the effort of taking all the cable ties off and everything like that, then be my guest. But the old part is far more, it's not a problem to put it back on because it's nothing really to do with the machine. It just holds the wiring in place. So I'm going to take the new metal piece off and screw the old one back on. Okay, guys, right. So the metal band with all the wiring on is screwed back into place. Now, the one thing I can credit Beko for is the wires pretty much go back, where they're sort of nearby essentially. So you've got the two wires for the fan. It doesn't matter which way round essentially the wiring goes on the fan or the heater or anything like that, because essentially it's just a live and neutral connection. So that doesn't really matter. So then you've got your element, which is that one. Then you've got your earth. So if the element fails, it'll trip. And then you've got your temperature sensors. So the wiring pretty matches up with the same sort of colours really. So you've got your temperature sensors that push into. So these essentially like overheating sort of cutouts essentially. So if they get too hot, they cut out. And then you've got the little NTC temperature monitoring device or moisture monitor on the front like that. And that there is how it should look. So all we've got to do now is pop the main bolts, the T40 big bolts, back into the machine. So again, there's two on each side. So we'll do this next. Perfect. So that's the 4 bolts screwed back into the dryer unit. Make sure you get these really nice and tight so it doesn't wiggle around on the top of the machine. Otherwise, when the machine's on a spin cycle, you will get a thudding noise or a thumping noise coming from this. So really, there's only 2 things left to do. There's 3 things left to do. So we've got to put the fascia panel back on, put the top back on, and essentially just give the machine a test. So we'll do this now. Okay guys, right, so the fascia literally just pushes back on, and make sure it all lines up with nice and flush with the dispenser drawer. You've got the 2 plastic stainless steel screws to go back in here and back in here, and then we'll put the top back on. And that's that really guys. So remember to put all your Torx 20 screws back in the top of the machine, pop the fascia back on, put the drawer back in, and we'll push the machine back in. I'll give it a test before I go, but that's how you change the dryer unit on a Beko washer dryer. As I say, washer dryers aren't brilliant in the first place. I'm a contractor for Beko, so I do loads of these things. Unfortunately, that's the model, and that's the model, and that's the serial number if anyone's interested. But this machine should now start drying a lot better than it was. Right, all. Thanks for watching. Catch you later, and yeah, see you in the next one.